everybody, I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan with PDQ.com.
It is, well, almost Valentine's Day.
Well, more importantly, it was Patch Tuesday this week, which means we get to do PDQ&A for the webcast.
I just want to say I love you because it's Valentine's Day.
I don't blame you. I'm pretty great.
You
I
are.
think you're all right.
Thanks, man.
How about a hug?
I'm glad you tolerate me. So,
All right, before we begin,
yeah.
who do I need to put on the tally board? Who's participating?
We're keeping score. Did I miss
Obviously,
that?
Lex and
of
Jordan.
course.
I've got you there already. Oh, of course. It's PDQ&A.
Okay. Let's
Jaron?
do the audience. Let's do Jaron should be on this one too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do an
then-
audience one, yeah.
And then everybody in the control room, including you, JJ.
Okay. I'll give us all a collective point. Well, I won't give us all a collective point now, but if we do happen to answer it,
All
we may
right.
win this one yet.
Well, actually, Lex should get a point because you asked the question, who should be on the board, and he answered.
Oh, there you go.
I want out the gate. Look at me.
Do
know, I'd
my
like to do
Stallion
questions
just
count?
No, I
And
am
do
not
Lex's
eating that.
answers count?
I am not eating that.
All right, I'll give Lex a point if we're gonna do that.
Should get
Show
this thing
love.
started.
It's Valentine's
that
Day. I'm
kind of
feeling
game.
love. Or it's near Valentine's Day.
Here we go. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Gentlemen, in PDQ inventory, we have 14 out of our total 186 PCs that are listed in inventory with the same exact MAC address. The machines are scanning successfully. Any thoughts? Thanks. Smiley face.
So my first
Figured
thought
out
goes,
how
are
to
they
emoji.
virtual machines that you've cloned and just cloned the MAC address with? That's my first thought.
That, if it's not that, then that is a bug we absolutely need to look at because
Yeah.
that's a big one.
So if they're VMs, check the assigned MAC addresses. Otherwise, I would suggest possibly popping that over to support.
In the chat, they said docking stations. Would that?
I don't think, because docking stations, each of them would have their own MAC address per NIC in the docking station, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It's,
So,
Well, I think we can safely say just statistically that's not accurate.
yeah.
With the 14 the same. But if it is virtual machines, it is likely could be that. If it's not virtual machines, then please send us a ticket so we can look into that because that's something that's.
And do this. Go look at your hardware in your hardware manager and see if you can pull up the MAC address there and see what it is. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. So it's that is a 1 point for solutions eventually.
Yeah, we'll give that to Solutions, who's not on the board. So I'll take that point.
No, well, we won't give that one to anyone right now
Yeah. Okay.
until we can answer it. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Gentlemen, is there going to be an agent? High res, 2.
This is why
hi,
we brought
Russ.
in Jaron.
You know, that's we're gonna do what I like doing best. Pass the buck.
Here we are.
Hey, Jaron.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in on that. So we have a great webcast that's on YouTube that tries to unveil this for the first time, but absolutely we're going to have an agent. It's going to be later this year. We're starting to slowly roll out a private beta. If you're interested in that, go to pdq.com/beta. We had a great response, so a lot of people are eager to get into it. We do recognize that it is going to be a separate solution from DNI, but bringing all the functionality and compatibility that you have and that you love with DNI to an agent-based solution. Does that answer it well?
I love it. I love it. I like the referring to deploying inventory as DNI. I like it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, Jaron.
And Jaron is now on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, he has been, but now he has a point.
There we go. Dear Lex and Jordan, how to fix WMI invalid errors? Sincerely, Russell K.
That's very broad statement.
Okay. So things I have noticed about running WMI queries. Okay. If I'm running like a WMI query and most of my machines are Windows 10 and I've got a Windows 7 or something, occasionally I'm going to get a WMI error because I'm looking for stuff that Windows 7 doesn't have. So there's possibilities there, depending on your versions, that you might not. You follow what I'm
It could
saying?
even happen during feature upgrades.
I haven't seen a feature upgrade. Have you seen it yet?
I don't do enough WMI queries to know for sure, but things are always
Yeah,
changing.
things are changing.
So what I would do is, if you tested your query and it was working fine on that machine, just send that against only machines that are on the same version, whether it's 1909
Not really 1909. That's where you're going. But,
or whichever one is. And if those all come back successfully, but it doesn't on a later version or an earlier version, that it's just the WMI for some reason is not in those versions. That's the only thing I can think of.
So here's the thing. Like, can we pull up inventory, Jordan? If you group by the errors that show up, you should be able to see, and a lot of times they are going to be grouped, and you'll see, oh, these are on my Windows 7 or Windows whatever errors. So if you're having it on multiples, just verify they're on the same. Odds are they're going to be on the same build or version. So
And he does say, he clarified in the chat, the error is during scan, but without specific errors, there's just a lot of different things that can be with WMI.
Yeah.
Our both go-to was it might be something that you're querying on a certain build that's not on a different build, but if it's not that and you're still having issues, WMI is just WMI. Instead of using the WMI scanner, if you put the query you're doing into PowerShell and try it as a PowerShell scanner, just using Git sim v2, and does that work? And that way, just make sure it eliminates our scanner itself as an issue with PowerShell.
now, I guess the other question is if it happens to be in our regular WMI scanner. So again, I would say the more detail you can give to support at this point, they're going to be able to answer it probably a lot better than us.
Git sim instance. I should probably know the commands I'm talking about, not sim v2. Git sim instance.
There you go. Does that go to support again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
something like that. Hey, have you contacted people about the beta testing for the agent yet? Thank you, Kathleen F.
Oh, only our closest friends.
I personally have not contacted anybody.
No, honestly, I'm just throwing that out there. Again, you guys are going to make Jaron win. First time out, he's going to be winning this. Jaron, any thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I can give a little update there. So we have started working with customers to get feedback on how the UI and UX would work within our new edition. Again, we expect this to be similar to DNI, deploy and inventory, but we do want to improve it to make it the best experience as possible. As far as having a downloadable product or a product that is used via cloud, we haven't had any beta users yet enter that. We do expect that later. It's going to be a slow rollout until we make it more of a public beta.
Jaron for the win. And I mean, that literally, he's ahead.
He's killing us.
If the next question is, what's the name of Jaron's pets? I'm going to say this is rigged.
Yeah, because I'm feeling he's kicking our butts already, and we're 7 minutes into it now? Anywho.
Well, we've had plenty of questions. We're just not answering them. We are failing miserably.
You guys have had 2 chances, so it's 2-2 on up to bat.
And support has, we've had to pass the buck. Again, passing the buck, something we're good at.
I am curious to see using a PowerShell scanner if you get the same results.
Yeah.
But
don't let it go. Do it afterwards.
Yeah.
Do it after.
Does anybody want to claim that last point, the prior point regarding the WMI errors?
no, because we danced around it, but we didn't have anything
We have to
specific.
send out support, so we can't take that one. You can
All
give me
right.
a
I'm
mercy
trying to
point, I guess.
give you guys something.
Dear Lex and Jordan, and hey, Jaron, too. So, can you guys show this relative newbie what to do with the information from Patch Tuesday? Is there a report that can be ran to show devices that need the updates? Thanks, DDD.
Here's the thing. Jordan's pulling this up. I'm just going to kind of walk you through where it is. The nice thing about it, right? First thing you can do is you can go to the package library, and if you've already downloaded the update and you've got it on auto download, it's going to pull it for you on whatever schedule you've got. And
So we have pre-built collections in inventory. When the new Patch Tuesday comes out, we take the roll up with all of the security updates.
yeah, let's pop that one up. There we go. So if you go to the collection library,
I'm getting there.
you're getting there. Windows updates.
Updates, yeah.
Workstations and servers, we got them broken down, and then so check it out. There's all the versions that are out currently that are supported.
Yep. So, and we'll just do cumulative for all. So when Patch Tuesday comes out, we test those updates that come through, then we upload it, and when that happens, the variable is going to update on this collection. So all of the ones that have not updated will move down to old.
Dude,
And then-
nobody's on 1803 anymore. Roll down. Roll down.
Yeah, fine. We want to use relevant information.
Let's do at least 2004. Something where we got some machines.
We got 6 and 21H2.
Oh, well-
As you can see, we
oh, there
haven't passed a dang thing.
We got to get on our game.
So if it comes to deploy, you have right here, these are the update packages. So we have the collections pre-built for you. When the Patch Tuesday comes out, once we update it, your collection will move to old. Download these, push those out, and everything should update to new, and you should know you're good and covered.
I want to throw something else out because it's just so cool at PDQ here. Heaven forbid someone sends out, I'm not going to call it Microsoft, but someone sends out a bad update, right? So the interesting thing is, if they send out a bad update, right, and they pull it, here we disable that bad update, so you can't get it. Okay. Now, if you're like me and I don't test, right out the gate, I wait when anybody sends anything a week or something, right? So if you have your wait time for your download, say a week out, any issues that come up, right? It's kind of nice that PDQ here looks out for you, takes that down. Or if another version comes out, you just skip to the latest version, which is kind of cool.
Well, if we're referencing what happened in January,
Yeah.
they did, after it caused a whole bunch of failures, they pulled the update and then they re-uploaded it without even change. Nothing changed. The hash was the same. So we pulled it, but then we couldn't just put it up with the same name. And then like 3 hours later, then they came out with a new one. It was an interesting go.
Again, the packaging team, the support team, these guys here, they got you in mind, man. There's love for you. It's Valentine's Day. We got love.
Yeah. And then this week they did everything they could to pretend like there wasn't a critical patch. It was,
That's Microsoft, not our patching team, by the way, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
no, our patching team tested and verified what was there
Yeah.
and updated that. As far as what went out, that's all Microsoft.
That's all my
That's
stuff.
that's not on us.
Yeah.
Is there anything we need to know about that?
About
Patch or anything?
about this month?
Yeah.
No, this is a light one. There was only 51 total.
Oh, okay,
Vulnerabilities patch.
But you already got a video out on that, right?
Yep.
All right, cool.
Non-critical, but there's a DNS remote executable. They labeled it non-critical because it requires dynamic updating, which isn't on by default. So never mind that almost everyone uses it, but since it's not on by default, not critical.
Not a problem. Okay, fair enough.
These arbitrary rules. All right, I've given you each a point for that last one, which means
Does that include Jaren? Because we're
No, not yet.
trailing Jaren pretty bad.
Speaking of Patch Tuesday, by the way, just a quick little plug. Jordan is very quick at getting the information out. He'll do a blog and then he also does a video. So if you haven't subscribed to either a blog or our YouTube channel, do so. Then you'll get notified, especially on the YouTube channel. It'll notify you and you'll be able to see what's going on.
I got to say, I love the Patch Tuesday video. I love it.
I had a lot of fun with that one. And I've never had anything there was nothing to talk about. Like after the one that should be critical, it wasn't. I was random polls of this one looks interesting. There's nothing to highlight.
So on top of it being very informative, Jordan does kind of make it fun, sort of.
Yeah,
Kind
And
of.
if you squint hard enough, he's sexy.
I've never watched it.
You've never watched it? You should, man. But squint.
I'm digging those new thumbnails, by the way. Jordan. Those are fun.
I think on this one I forgot to hold the thumbnail pose, and so they made me do it after, and plugged it into the ending credits.
I love it. I love it.
All right, ready to move on?
Yeah, after that, yeah.
All right. So the question is there going to be a cloud version? This is from high res to whom I suspect is a plant. Just
I
trying
think-
to get
I want to know
Jaren
if
some
Jaren
points.
is high res too,
I'm wondering.
because
Lex, you can answer this one then if
yes,
yeah, part of
Come
as
on,
the
you got more
agent-based
details,
product.
man. Huh?
As with the agent-based product, it is going to be a cloud version. Now we want to make sure that it's compatible with our downloadable tools. We do recognize there's a large group of people that love our tool that are air-gapped, and so we'll continue to support and to invest and to be compatible with that. But the version that we're talking about when we say agent-based product is a cloud version.
I just have a big sigh for two reasons. One, we got a cloud because people want it, and two, all the people who love that air-gapped. We're still taking care of them. I love it. Thanks, Jaren.
All right, next question. Gentlemen, is there a way for inventory to use different credentials on one OU? I have a staging OU or an image that uses different credentials than my default credentials. Sincerely, Chris.
Unfortunately, we set that by machine.
Whoa, time out, man. We can do this.
Okay.
Can I have the
No.
Okay, I'm going to walk him through it, but I get the point. Okay, so here's the thing, right? When you have an OU, you can go add from the OU specifically and pick a different set of credentials. So if you go in here to options, preferences, there's probably a faster way, but I'm old school, okay? Include a container is OU. It's container.
Well, we call it container. You can pull it by OU.
All right.
The fact that we call it container drives me nuts because containers are in Active Directory. They just don't apply group policy. Then I'm not going to.
All right. Well, I hit a nerve there. But so let's say you wanted anything in accounting or to have a different, right? So you'd add this. And then when you go into your domain here, add a domain, you'd have your new domain with your new credentials. You can pick new credentials with that. So yes, you can do it. And if you wanted to, if you already added them and you wanted to go in and change a bunch of them, you just come in here and say, okay, these are the ones I want to change, highlight them, right click on there, go to select scan user, new credentials right there.
So that will default with different credentials for the staging area, but you're going to have to track it when you move it out manually to update the scan user still.
I would assume you'd have something in PowerShell that would do that.
I could.
You could. You could. That's how I would do it. I would call you up and say, Jordan, can you make me some PowerShell? That would
That
change
has
this.
worked well for you over the years.
It has, because here's the thing. After you do the staging, right, you run it, the last thing you do, move it into the OU you want and change the credentials.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in your face, I know you know PowerShell, but you know what I mean.
Are you going to get a point because Jordan can do it? That's the Lex gets a point.
I should get a point because I know Jordan can do it, and you didn't know you could
No,
do it.
the information about adding by credential, I didn't even know that. That's a fantastic bit of information.
Okay.
Lex gets bonus points.
No, he just gets one, but now
Okay.
he and Jaren are tied.
Well, there we go. Hey guys, have any suggestions for tools to help prep non-MSI installers for PDQ deploy, like ScanSnap, scanner software that may have registry files, DLLs, etc.? Mikey B.
I have a couple of thoughts on this. Now, tools to help. Any tools to help that you know of? I just know how I deal with it.
I mean, I don't have anything that's going to work every time. It's more of a lot of research on what works with that installer, a lot of reading into their forums. Like if they have specific DLLs that you're looking to install, you can include those in additional files, but there's nothing that's going to go and find that. If it's that complex, it's just going to require reading and testing.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's like once you've figured out what it needs, and then it becomes very easy with a file copy, a PowerShell, a registry. And again, you can do these. Let me just show you how easy a lot of this can be, right? So new package. From your install step here, okay, just the things that you can run from here. You know, MSIs, right? But you also know you can do, where are my desktop installs? Anyway, there's
a couple of executables right there.
you can do EXEs, MSIs, PowerShell, registry edit files, batch files, and like you always like to coin, if you want to flash back to the 80s, you can, or the 90s, you can do Visual Basic Script. So there's a lot of different ways to get that done. And again, you can just do a lot of that from either a install step or, again, the other step I would use would be a file copy to move DLLs. So that's how I do it. Again,
Yeah.
no tools, but a lot of research, but you can't automate it.
Yeah, it's something like that. I mean, luckily you only usually have to research it the one time because they don't change the process a lot. Although we say that as Autodesk is changing their process.
Every 15 minutes. Yeah, that's a good point. So
I'll give Jordan a participation point for that one too.
are you
And
kidding
Lex.
me? After that whole, and I had to show how to do it? Participation.
No, you got a point, but Jordan gets the participation.
It's a mercy point.
Let's see, Tim in the chat says...
Lex, you're still in the lead.
Yeah, see,
I gave you a
Microsoft
point.
the DLLs that are copied after during the install. So if that's the case, you can do a file copy step after the install.
Yeah.
It looks like Tim gets a point.
We'll give it to one to the audience.
Yeah.
Wow, there they go. All right, guys, new to PDQ deploy and inventory, similar to a question above, is there a report that will show me all machines that have software and Windows updates available? Sincerely, Rob H.
Well, I'll show you how I do it. Now, a lot of this depends on how you set things up. And again, a little time in the beginning setting things up makes your life significantly easier. That's why we automate, right?
Yep.
Spend the time. So here's the thing. If you look at our collections here, right? Like Chrome, you'll notice, if I can click on that, we have old, latest installed. If you make your private collections that same way with old and latest, right? This becomes a very simple thing to do. You go out, build a report. It's a new report, just a basic report. Okay, we're going to name this. Did you notice I actually named it this time? Call it old apps, all right? We'll just assume everything needs to be updated. In this case, we want the computer name and we want the collection or the member of collection name, okay? And the filter is going to be on that member of collection name, and it's going to contain that, old. And then you'll notice right here, it says define report collection library Windows updates. I want to run that against every machine. So again, I select all computers here, give it an OK. It runs. And then there's a couple of ways to go about this. You can group it by the collection name or the software to see everything, or you can group it by computer. I generally group this by computer so I can see who's the worst. Auditorium Control Computer has 11 updates. It needs Chrome, it needs Teams, some Visual Studio, so on and so forth. And again, each of these machines has the list of what they need.
Yep. And that's for all software. If they're looking, I think they mentioned Windows Update specifically. You can, if you scroll up a little bit, they have the Windows 10 version there. You can be more specific than just old. And you could have like Windows 10 asterisk and then in the parentheses old, and that should find it.
That is true. And there's a lot of different filters you can do. We've got some videos on how to use regular expressions, which are super powerful. I'd do it for you now, but it'll take me like 15 minutes to figure out how to do it again every time I have to read.
I've never done regex without having to relearn it.
Yeah, every time. So that's one way to do it.
All right, here we go. Another question up for grabs. Hey, folks, is PDQ working on deployment for Mac devices? Daniel M.
Deployment for Mac devices. Well, interesting thing. Again, I'm going to do this. If you guys, this is going to let you know how old I am. I'm like ZZ Top. I'm pointing over Jaron.
Yes. First off, love this question, Daniel. And I think it's a question that when I first started at PDQ, I asked most frequently here at PDQ. So definitely a question after my own heart. So in October of last year, we did add to our family Simple MDM, which does deployment and scanning for Apple devices. That's across both mobile as well as Mac devices. So currently we do have that in our arsenal. I think there's a future question, so I don't know if I could wait to get another point, but there was a question I saw about if we're going to have Mac device support on our next upcoming agent-based product. And let me talk that one too. For our first launch of that, we are going to be very similar to deploying inventory, so it's going to be focused on Windows, but we are leaving that opportunity to learn what we can learn from Simple MDM, make sure that we have that as a tool available for our current customers, and then look and see how the future roadmap can really help us solve that problem as well.
Did you guys see what he did there? He went for the extra credit.
Are you really going to give him 2 points? I'm like, I would be so dejected.
He went for the extra credit point.
Can I share one of my points with Lex? I feel like he deserves this.
The next question. How much
That's a
can
pity
Jaron
point,
bench?
Jaron. I
It's really
appreciate it.
aggressive.
But
All right. I have one for you guys. All
right.
If you use the highlighter on this next question, I guess that's
Then
Lex
you
who
get
has the
the X.
controls there.
I've got the
Get
keyboard.
the point.
Can't remember how to do it, though.
All right. And your question,
So
question
Jordan may have
is,
to borrow it.
when a powered on and network connected computer won't deploy, says failed offline, is there a command we can run to get it to recognize the online status? Sincerely, Yoga Boya.
So Control H should do a heartbeat of the machine.
Okay, allow me to show you where you can find that.
Oh, can you highlight that?
Tools. Oh, highlight. Here we go. So pick your machine that's offline. Costello, right click.
Up to
And right there, 2, heartbeat. And now for the extra point. Check it
You
out.
did it.
Oh no, I didn't say extra point. I said you get the point.
Get the point.
Yeah, but Jordan answered it. That's like stealing a.
Yeah, that means he doesn't get the point, but you do.
So if you do a heartbeat and it's still showing as offline, that means there's some sort of DNS mismatch where it's not connecting. And I'm stealing from Bill, who's going for the point over there, as IP config flush DNS on the server is going to update your DNS information there, and hopefully it connects at that point.
Yep.
I know Bill would have used the highlighter too. So
Yes, he would have.
Bill would
I'll
have
give
used the highlighter.
Audience.
I bet he would.
audience and Lex get points.
No, I'm gonna stop calling out the chat. They can't score points if we don't acknowledge it.
That's true. There's nobody here but you and me. Is that
You're
what
right,
we're
because
doing?
I'm really not reading it. So
Dear Lex and Jordan, can you force inventory to go pull new IP addresses from DHCP? Sincerely, Daniel M.
So force them to pull new IP addresses from DHCP. You know where I would go to do that? I'd go to Options, Active Directory, and I'd run a sync now. Because wouldn't that go and make that connection, verify the machines in AD, and then go verify. Because each scan should pull back the new IP address if there is one, right?
Well, it's going to use whatever the DNS you're
The science.
the machine's reporting. So if you could do the flush DNS again,
Yeah, that's true.
and I think someone in the chat said register DNS. You can do those type of things to grab it. But if you have stale records, often enough what's a problem, then I would take a look at scavenging.
Yes.
Or if you want to get real aggressive, there's a webcast a long time ago where I wrote PowerShell that it got very aggressive on deleting stale records.
Just be careful,
Be careful
with
with that
And the
one.
reason it doesn't do anything dangerous. It just,
It is.
if your network guys have a certain reason they do stuff and you run that, they're going to be all up in your face.
It was very effective.
It did work very, very well. But yeah, you're right. I'm going to defer. Jordan's right. Check the records on your DNS. It's probably the first place to go, the best place to go.
Should I give you both points for that one?
Decisions.
Love it.
You guys are both doing so well.
Yes. Hey guys, can
Feels
you
so
make a collection based on the exit code of a deployment? It's a follow-up question from Daniel M.
Collection of exit codes. So let's just go look at a failure here. Do we have any failure deployments? All deployments? Do we have anything that we've failed?
Well, in inventory, they do have a scans table. Does that have this error code in there?
So, okay. So, yeah, that's a good point. That's kind of where I was not headed. You took me. All right, Bugs Bunny. Let's see if I can go. Should we go send something wrong in a Bugs Bunny? See if we got it. So, if you go look, you have the deployments table. Here's all the deployments, scans, successful. Everything's successful. And we got any error codes? That's the thing.
So we can't
That's
repeat the error, but if they can, in a collection, pull from the deployments table the status, you can do that. I've never attempted it.
I think the thing is, does it just say that it's failed, but does it give it the error code? See, that's the thing I think.
I don't know.
I think it just says failed. Should we try?
We've just been so successful with our
That's
deployments
true. We
recently.
just let's go kill one here. Packages. 7-zip will kill it, right? Deploy once. Bugs Bunny. I still can type Bugs Bunny poorly. Okay, kick it off. It's running. Queued. Initializing. Abort. Failed. Okay,
So
so
just-
that failed.
So when you did it that way, it has a fail. But if it fails because of an error, it normally has a link. But I don't know how to pull that
See,
information.
I just think it says failed here. I don't think it says why though.
not a specific error code. It's just that it did
It says
fail.
failed. Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's try collection real quick.
Because we capture the error code because you can specify different codes in there
True.
as success codes. So if we capture it for the deployment, there's got to be a way to find it.
That is true too.
Should we flounder more live on the air and not?
Are we floundering poorly? Right.
Yeah.
Deployment status contains
Well,
failed.
there was one that was called error, wasn't there?
Just say. Well, it says it does not contain successful. How about that? Boom. Let's see.
Suck.
All right. So there's the collection. I don't know if it's really showing anything.
If the scan said it just shows the last scan, not necessarily.
Failed. Yeah.
So they do
There's
have.
just, so it just says failed there. That's on Gossamer. So I don't think it shows the error code, dude.
If you say so, there was one that said error in your dropdown. And open up the collection again.
Okay, it's there.
Double click on it. On new collection.
Okay.
We're going to edit it,
Okay.
and then where it says status, there's one that says
Oh,
error.
it says error. I don't know. What just contains nothing. Does not. I don't know. What do we put there?
Is there a not null?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Not null. I'm not inspiring a lot of confidence in my ability here.
Even
man.
with this, we see the bigger issue is it's not going to be the last one. So
Yeah.
unless you're clearing out that deployments table often, even if you had the error and then were successful, it's still going to find the error with that one. So it's not going to be as useful as thinking. We just talked around a lot of ways to not solve the problem.
Oh, check it out. Failed status aborted. So yeah, maybe. I haven't seen any
Like I
other
said, that's not just going to be for the
Yeah.
last scan. It's for all deployments.
Yeah, that's true.
That's-
Good point. Good
Yeah,
point.
we did not
Because we don't keep a history.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
missed.
that is the worst walk around I've ever seen.
Wow, minus points here.
Found a lot of ways to not
No,
do
just
it.
just not going to get points for that one at all.
We did give an idea of where to look.
All right, well, let's move on to something maybe you can answer. How can I skip the wait to get the computer to show in inventory for a successful scan?
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
Skip the wait for computers showing inventory. So is this something, I'm assuming we're adding new machines into inventory. That's my assumption off this. I'm hoping. Okay, if you were waiting for a machine to get added from inventory, the easiest way to do this, right, is one, again, preferences. If you've got an auto sync set up for 1 hour or 1 day or whatever, right? I mean, I think I think an hour is a little aggressive to re-add machines. You can set up an auto sync, right? Now, I figure once a day is probably enough for most people, but if you want to do that more frequently, all you got to do is come down here and hit sync now. So,
Because it should show up in inventory before the first successful scan as soon as it syncs. But
so that's how I'd go about it.
All right, let's get you another question.
This
This is
that one.
They were
this
so
is-
surprised we actually answered it. It was like, what?
Here's a question that's kind of already been answered, but we'll throw it up there again. Will the new agent be compatible with Mac OS? Alex.
Dude,
not initially, but potentially in the future.
I was thinking, we have simple MDM.
We do have simple MDM. I love that answer.
I'm giving
job,
no
Lex.
points for this one. Go rewind 15 minutes. I guess I don't know if we have the rewind capability on this yet, but after the show ends, you'll be able to watch it in the future. And someone asked those exact questions in 2 different spots.
I do like the new tool in the arsenal of simple MDM.
We do, but he was specifically inquiring after our agent.
Yeah, well, that is true, but I still like it. I like the fact that we can do it using simple MDM.
All right, next question. Hey guys, is there a way to set up a deploy schedule to grab X amount of online PCs nightly from a collection and update them? Example, automatically select 50 20H2 computers nightly and update them to 21H2. Ray S.
So we did a webcast kind of on this, huh? So here's what we did in the webcast. We built a group, right? We grouped all the machines in different, well, I think we did 5 groups, right? And then we built a schedule, okay? And once the schedule was done running, it would change the filter on the collection so that the next night it would grab the next group of computers. Do you remember what the name of that webcast was? Yeah, it was like smart scheduling, wasn't it?
Yes.
Advanced scheduling. I think it's smart scheduling.
Yeah, so I remember writing the PowerShell. I just forgot all about it until you just mentioned it right then.
Yeah. So there's some PowerShell involved. It's actually a fairly simple thing to do once you're going to have to build some groups for your machines.
So that won't make it completely random like they're hoping. You would have to define which group they're going to be in beforehand, but then once you set that up, it will cycle through all of them within the grouping that you're hoping for.
I think ultimately, right, you just don't want to hit all the machines all at once. You kind of roll through and make sure they all get done.
Yep.
So,
All right, 3 questions remaining. Hey guys, I have had a rash of newly joined domain computers, not all, that will not scan until I swap out the scan creds. Note the user and password have not changed in the service account. Thanks, Matt V.
I haven't run across that one before. Okay, first thing I would do, let's just go to troubleshooting, right? I would probably start and stop the service, make sure your passwords, you're saying your credentials are the same. So I'd still start and stop the service on and when I say service, you go to services on your PDQ server console, wherever you're doing that, right? And then I'd bump them just to make sure you get a fresh start on those, just in case something has, I guess I can just type here and hit a P for PDQ. So just cycle these guys, right? Restart them. That's the first thing I would do to test and then, run it, see if it works.
So when he says swap, does that mean he's changing the credentials into new credentials, or is he just re-entering the credentials? Because if he's changing credentials and it's just pulling in with the wrong one, it might be something along the lines where you had with the AD-Sync, where you showed the different domain. If it's pulling in the right credentials and it's just not working until they change to just basically reuse the same credentials without changing anything, that feels like a significant bug that would want to look at.
It kind of does. Now, I will show you this. You can multi-select these guys again and go, select scan user, right? We'll grab the local guy. We don't have local on here, and then pop it back. So you could do it that way. But yeah, I think, if you need an immediate fix, look at that as a way to swap those, I guess. But again, I think Jordan's right. If it's, if you bounce the service and you're still having the issues and that, it's probably a bug.
Yeah, it
haven't
should,
seen it, but
it
yeah.
should use whatever credential you used with the 80 sync. And so if it's good enough to sync it, but then it's not working. I'm just confused by this, because what he means by swap could be, it changes the answer. Because if he's swapping to completely new credentials, then it's pulling in the wrong thing. If it's swapping back to the same credentials and then it works for some reason, that's a bug.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go speed round because I've had a couple additional questions come in. Here we go. Hey guys, if you have an update package showing as a duplicate in auto download, can you remove one? Thanks. Did.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, so we've got 7-zip already. We'll just go to the package library since I can type 7. At least I thought I could type 7, and I can download it again, right? So there's reasons for being able to pull multiples, right? So in this case, you just delete the one you don't want, right? But the reason I would have 2 of these is under options under package, right? We have our auto download, and it's set for whatever your default is. I could go change this and set it for automatic for 1 or 2 days to do a test. So that's why you can download. You could have more than one. That's why we made it so you can do more than one. So you have one to test, one for production. So
Yeah. When you delete the package, it doesn't remove the install file from the repo. So that way, even if you delete it, if they're all pointing to the same file, the file's still going to be there, so it should work just fine.
absolutely. That
All
took
right.
more than a minute, didn't it?
Barely, though. You were pretty good. I was
That's
impressed.
pretty.
Hey, Lex and Jordan, please. I received the error. The remote server returned an error, 401, unauthorized, when attempting to download a package from the package library. What's up? AM.
All right, first thing I would check, I just go go to help and go to license. Make sure your license hasn't expired. That'd probably be the first place I look. Just because, sometimes you just it runs so good, I don't think about it, does in the background, and then all of a sudden stuff's not working.
I think we have a KB to make sure certain ports are unlocked as well to make that work, but I don't know. Definitely not within our minute timeline what the KB is.
Yeah. So check your license and then check the KB for that error. Yeah.
All right, next question. I use a PowerShell script that requires user interaction. If the user is screen locked, the window is not shown when the user comes back, so the package never finishes. How can I fix this? Melik Darshin.
So if it is locked, it's definitely not going to show up for them. You can't really change that. You could change the deployment to, I think there is a status in there where if you do a scan, it'll say whether someone is locked or not currently and have it not deploy to them. The other option is you could have like a while loop where it pops up there for a certain amount of time and it gives them a certain number of time to click on it. After the countdown, it just closes out automatically, and you can have that return a very specific error of no user interaction, or whatever error number you want to put in there, and just look for that one. Those are the 2 solutions I can think of.
So condition here, scan after, I gotta go, properties, conditions, here we go. Logged on state, so you do this at the package level, right?
Also, it's only including locked and disconnected. It's not gonna work at all. So option 2, basically you can put a countdown timer on your PowerShell script where it will give them X number of time to click on it, and if there's no interaction, it can return a separate error
code,
number than yes or no clicking, and you can see that they just never clicked on it. It won't let you know that it was locked, it'll just let you know that the user never interacted.
Ta-da! And our final question of the day, do you guys have your own brand of liquor? If so, is it called PD Liqueur? Thanks, Mike B.
So if we did have our own brand of liquor,
Well, I have my Infinity bottle.
I would say that's probably the closest to
Yes.
our own brand. When I say ours, yours, but it's definitely delicious.
I just call it delicious. That was a fantastic bottle of scotch.
That was good. That was really good.
PDQ Infinity.
There we go.
To infinity and where?
Like the Infinity Gauntlet,
If-
but with scotch.
Infinity stones. I mean,
Only when I snap my fingers, I just get more drunk.
more liquor.
It's a limited amount of infinite scotch.
Limited infinite scotch. Love it. I love it. So that's PDQ. And I want to know who won.
You did by 1 point. No, I'm sorry, by 2 points.
Wow.
Just a sec. Hey, your face. And Jaron, I know you can't see this, but in your face, I won. You
trash
champ.
talk.
Can I have the medal? Please?
Oh, you need the.
I need the gold medal because it's a rare occasion I ever win, especially Q&A.
We should do a PDQ&A
Trophy.
A little trophy or
trophy.
something. Yeah.
trophy. And
and
it
that we have
sits-
to pass. Whoever has it has to keep passing it to the.
That's cool.
I'll bring in my chess trophy from first grade.
I'll
do
go buy
have
like a
that.
gymnastics trophy for us. And
We have that Lego
We
trophy
do.
right there.
We-
We've
Lego
got a
trophy?
trophy. Yeah. We'll be bringing that in.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. We had a rough start. We didn't answer a lot of questions early, but we ended strong.
we ended strong.
We ended
Yes, that's-
strong.
It's going out with a bang, right?
Yeah. All right. For PDQ.com, I'm Jordan.
I'm Lex. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Daniel M. and Mike B. Winners of PDQ swag. Send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you like what you've seen today and would like more of it, feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.